It's Powerback time on the Gutsy Podcast. Each week we bring you 5 minutes of condensed inspiration to reclaim the courage and momentum you've given away. You've got big things to do, so let's get your power back. Every day you are faced with hundreds, if not thousands, of decisions to make. Something as simple as which shoes do I want to wear or which leftovers do I want to take to work. And sometimes they're way bigger decisions, things that impact not just your day, but your future self. This week's Powerback is all about a tool that I absolutely love to use when making decisions, and that is the simple question to yourself, and that is this a hell yes? Because if it's not a hell yes, it should be a no. Now, bear with me a little bit because there are some decisions in life where you have to do them, like making the appointment to file your taxes, for instance. To most people, that's not going to be a hell yes. I know it's not a hell yes for me, but there are general life things we have to do regardless. What I'm referring to are things that you're so quick to say yes to, even though you're not feeling emotionally able to commit or even excited about it by any means. Think of all the different things that you say yes to, even though you have hesitation in your voice, because you know that you don't really want to do this thing. Maybe you don't have the time, the money, or the energy. And you may even associate it with fear that you may be letting someone down if you tell them no. Some common things that people say yes to, like joining a board or committee, knowing that you don't have enough time or energy to spend on this committee. But because you feel like you want to support the organization, you say yes, even knowing those things. Then before you know it, your time gets thin, you get overspent, you're not really doing anything very well, and you're left feeling just frustrated and overwhelmed. Maybe you have agreed to go do something with people. It could be something as simple as hanging out or going and spending time with certain people. But deep down, you know that you really just need an internal day. Last week, we talked about No Bra Sunday. And when you break your patterns of self-care, then you really just start to deplete yourself. Or here's a big one. I know a lot of you are guilty of this, and I am as well. Maybe you have offered to help someone, even though you can't even get through your own shit, let alone someone else's. But again, you don't want to let that person down, and you want to be seen as this person that can help everyone, so you're willing to go 100 miles an hour and deplete everything that you have. Sometimes at work also, maybe you're taking on a project even though you know it's not a good fit, simply because it's going to help with cash flow. Maybe you're even changing your own personal style based on what everyone thinks that you should be wearing. I mean, I could go on and on and on and give you 1,000 more ways that we say yes when we really should be saying no. I literally use this phrase with myself anytime that I'm making a decision. And if I don't say that this is a hell yes, then I say no. And most of the time, without explanation. And I say most of the time because I'm still kind of working on that myself, okay? It can be really challenging just to say no without having to give, 100 different reasons on why. But I'm aware of it, and that's honestly sometimes half of the battle. Even aside from business, thinking about making decisions about clients to take on or different events to go to, different types of organizations that we want to be involved in, the if it's not a hell yes, it's a no scenario comes in handy almost every single day. But in full transparency, my favorite place to use this is when I'm shopping. Okay. So when I am, especially when I go to Target, because that damn store sucks me in, and I'm trying on all these different clothes, and you go into the dressing room and you're looking at this outfit and you're like, oh, this is kind of nice. And you're doing that weird, 45-degree angle look into the mirror and lifting your chin up and doing that whole thing. And you're trying to convince yourself that you love this outfit. My friends, this is where this comes in handy, because if you don't put it on and say, hell yes, girl, or hell yes, guy, this looks amazing, take it off, put it back on the rack, save yourself the $35. Literally, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. Point blank, end of story, move on. So this week, I want you to take your power back by evaluating all the different things that you are doing on a regular basis. Think about commitments, boards, different routines, different habits. And I want you to ask yourself, when you say yes to these things, do you have a positive reaction? When you look at that pile of shoes in your closet, which ones are saying hell yes to you, and which ones are like, oh, this is kind of taking up some space? When you look at your client base, which ones are you looking at saying, hell yes, this is an amazing client, versus which are the ones that when you see their name come across your phone, you quickly become unavailable. This is so applicable in every aspect of your life, and it's so simple. It doesn't require any technology. It doesn't require an app. It doesn't require anyone else's opinion. It's literally just a gut check of your own. So if you find yourself kind of in a gray area in a decision, oh, I'm not really sure if I should do this. I'm kind of thinking about this, but I don't really know if it's right for me. A great way to gut check and fact check yourself is to say, if this isn't a hell yes, it really needs to be a no. You're going to save yourself a lot of time, a lot of energy, and do a whole lot more of the things that make you ridiculously excited. Join me next week on the Gutsy Podcast as we dig a little bit into the subject of being an empathetic entrepreneur. If you're an empath, you know that you feel things 1,000 times deeper than the average human. And then add entrepreneurship on top of that, and we've got a whole explosion of emotions. Until then, follow the Gutsy Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to dig a little bit deeper into the insights of being an entrepreneur, follow me on Instagram at @thatlauraora. See you next time.